Hey, Whimsy, I'm doing fantastic. We had a pretty darn good time last week, didn't we?
I know I did. I don't remember much of it. It was something of a blur, which is pretty much what happens every time I'm in Los
Yeah, I'm not too
Angeles.
surprised by that. But, the highlight, of course, was when we had Korean barbecue, and then we went to see the Barbie movie.
I had a wonderful time with you. I
Oh,
have to
yes,
say, I always have the best time with you,
I
but
do.
the
You're like
only
family to me.
you are family to me.
Yes,
You are
absolutely.
that comfortable place
Oh,
that I call home,
oh.
or we are Tuesday people, you and I. We are Tuesday people. Well,
There's no
gosh, it's
place
good
like
to
home.
yes, there's no place like home, and it's great that you all decided to join us. If you haven't had a chance to do so yet, please take a seat. Make yourselves comfortable. This
Yeah.
is Taco Tuesdays. Oy vavoy, do we have a lot to talk about.
Well, I know it's a slow news day, but I think we'll find some stuff to talk
Oh my goodness, talk
about.
about what's going on. I
Holy
mean,
shit.
make attorneys get attorneys. Nowhere has that been more true
No,
than
no.
right now because
All of
we
them
have,
going on trial at the same time.
yes, RICO charges. We're going to talk about all of that. 18 people out of
Yeah,
Georgia.
but I mean,
Yes.
Mark Meadows, Rudy Giuliani. Uh, I don't even remember all of the henchmen of Trump that are on that list of 18 people that are going to be tried together. I can't help but be a little gleeful right now.
Yes. What is it called? Schadenfreude. It's that feeling where it's like it just feels so
It's
good. It's a long time coming.
well, it's just a feeling of sanity and justice. Finally, finally, accountability here. It's been painful for so many of us, just sitting back almost helplessly, watching all of this madness take place over the last, 4 or 5 years or so, and with Trump and with all of the supporters. So I'm just glad accountability is finally happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, it would be great if you could share, like Schadenfreude. Yes, to be happy about another's misery. Thank you, Debbie
Oh,
Brady, who was kind enough. Yes, Schadenfreude. I love
yeah, I
those
see
words.
that there.
I don't
I'm
always know
glad you
how to pronounce
pronounced
them.
that. Yeah,
Yes. Anyway, if people could like and subscribe while people are finding the chat, that would be awesome. I'm
would
actually
be
going to switch
fantastic.
over
Yes.
to the YouTube because I can see things a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell people a little bit about what I'm up to, what I'm
Okay.
eating, what I'm drinking, and this is kind of like our uh, you know, w- eh, this is for desperate people, Taco Tuesday. That's what I'm beginning to
Is
think.
that what you think?
Well, we can't wait till Wednesday.
No.
We gotta get to the tacos. We gotta get to the sangria, to the margaritas. It's Monday was just too much for us, and so we find ourselves by Tuesday running to get those
I
icy
could
cold.
use a margarita right now and a taco or two
Yes, the
for
weather
free.
is terrible. Well,
Oh,
I'm having a beautiful ice water, no tacos for me. And give another shout out to Debbie Brady, who was kind
oh,
enough to develop all of our merch. She was also kind enough to do this beautiful
yeah.
shirt for me. So please, everybody, check out our merch. It's good stuff,
Yeah.
and it helps support the channel.
Debbie
And
has
I
done
know
a beautiful job.
yeah, I know that you've been loving on some of that new stuff. I just
Yeah.
want to turn the camera around. Tell us who you are, where are you coming from, what you eating, what you drinking. And I know Chuck and I would love to say hello to you. Starting with K Travel Tarot is in the house. Welcome, welcome to K Travel. Hi
Yeah.
to Cheryl.
Lots of nice hellos here for people.
Yeah, you want to give a shout out? Go ahead.
Yeah. Having bean burritos with a margarita. Tequila sounds good. Yes, it does. It always sounds good. Hello from Texas, or hi, y'all. Hi. Where's
Yeah.
I see here. Kay said, "Where's liquor when I want to celebrate?" Oh, it's always pretty accessible. It can be found somewhere. This is
Right.
I think this is a time for champagne and popcorn. Did you see that the trial is likely going to be televised? The
Oh, the trial's
indictments
going to be
and the trial?
televised.
They're going to
Oh,
let cameras in the courtroom.
I love it. I think that's
Oh, that is going to be
fantastic. The more the
must-see
merrier.
TV. Oh, I will be glued to my television.
Well, hold on, I'm just
Yeah.
talking to a
What do
friend
you
here.
see here? I see here watermelon on the Oregon coast, tea from Spring Hill, Florida. Yeah, sounds like a lot of people are taking the idea. I have a feeling most of the country is going through this same heat wave. I'm in Los Angeles right now, and it's been just hot forever. And they said on the news it's going to get hotter in the next 2 days.
Oh, I was completely wiped out. What's the temperature right now in LA?
Let me see here. If I can find it on my phone. Um, it is, well, if it would come up on my phone, it says 86 degrees, but it feels more like 98. I think it's because of all the humidity we're going through right now.
It's 104 here in Portland.
104?
Yes, but I put up some shade and I got some plants from South America, those shade plants, and they say
Yeah.
must have shade. And I know if I'd put them out, they would have died. So they're all living in my bathroom.
Well, I don't think anything could live outside right now. 104
Yeah.
degrees? And you actually want me to come up there in a few
Yeah, no,
weeks?
no, but yes, but well, I'd like you to be here for Halloween so that you can
Oh, I would
experience
love
a
that.
Portland Halloween.
That would be a lot of fun.
Speaking of Halloween, and we
Yes.
must talk about this, people wanted to know where exactly we went. We didn't really get a chance to talk to people about the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. I think we
No.
take the Hollywood Forever Cemetery for granted because it's just right there, but many people dream of visiting. Can you talk to people a little bit
Sure.
about the Hollywood Cemetery?
Well,
Who is buried there? Why
well,
it was, and the history of the hauntings, and
yeah.
and also we're going to talk a little bit about what we experienced. I know you have a message from Judy Garland, actually.
I do. Came in last night, but Hollywood Forever Cemetery, has been around. I think it goes back to the 19 teens or 20s. It fell into tremendous disrepair. It was almost abandoned at one point. And there was a wonderful man named Tyler Cassidy who took it over maybe 25 years ago, and he brought it up to snuff. And now it's a major tourist attraction. Uh, there have been many great stars buried there. We went to Rudolph Valentino's grave. We saw Mickey Rooney. We saw Valerie Harper, Burt Reynolds, Jane Mansfield. But one of the more recent, I don't know what the correct terminology here is, but one of the newest residents is, of course, Judy Garland. And
Mhm.
she had been interred in upper state New York. Her husband at the time had control over where her final remains would be.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you unplug your Fife microphone? Just unplug it since you're not using
Unplug
it.
it? Okay, how was that?
Better. It was causing a buzz. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, the children had no say so, Liza, Lorna, and Joey. They never wanted their mother buried in New York. They felt she belonged here in Los Angeles. This is where her most of her life, her career was. So about 5 years ago, they had her remains moved out here, and Tyler Cassidy built an entire mausoleum. They call it the Judy Garland Pavilion. It was built just for her. And you've been there with me. It's gorgeous, beautiful marble, gates that look like the gates to the Emerald City in The Wizard of Oz. It's very poignant to go in there. And as you know, I love Judy Garland. Whenever I'm in the area, I always stop by. They purposely put the mausoleum in a very accessible place where it's so easy to find. You just drive in there and you go right up to it. So we did that. You and I walked around. We took a tour, and it's also a beautiful cemetery. They have peacocks walking around. There are cats. It's also right behind Paramount Studios, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever been to a cemetery like that place. I mean, it is
yeah.
truly. I've just never seen. There's no
Well,
cemetery in the world like
you
the
remember what I said
Harvard
to you?
Cemetery.
You know, many people think cemeteries are morbid. I see them as celebrations of life. I walk around, I see all the markers, the mausoleums. I see indications of people who came here who gave love, they were loved, they made marks on the world because I believe every one of us makes an imprint on the planet that reverberates. So I just see celebration when I go there. I never get bad
You
vibes.
know, I had the craziest remote view with Valerie Harper,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you and I have both met Valerie Harper.
Well, I never met Valerie.
Oh, you never
I
met Valerie?
I love Valerie. I met David Groh, of course, who played her husband on Rhoda. He was my personal friend. And I was invited to David's memorial service. I couldn't go because I had to work that day, but Valerie Harper gave the eulogy. I wish I had been there. But you met Valerie.
I met Valerie Harper when I was working at Pharmaca Pharmacy, and everybody in the world came to Pharmaca Pharmacy in Brentwood.
Yeah.
And I had just seen the SAG screening of Bright Star, which was about the poet John Keats. And I thought it was the only thing that happens is they hold hands and there's a kiss. But it is such a profoundly intimate film. And she came in and I just was like talking, oh my God, I've seen Bright Star
Yeah.
at the SAG screening. She's like, I was there too.
Ah, yeah. I've
We're
heard
both
she's just
there the
was
same
the
night
loveliest person.
watching, and I was just saying, it's so intimate, it's so intimate. And then I had to go help somebody, and she was so wrapped up in the film. She's like, I'll follow you, I'll follow you.
I love that enthusiasm.
Run around the store doing things, and I had Valerie Harper I'll follow you so that we could talk about this movie.
I wish I had met her.
The movie was.
She just sounded like the loveliest person. I have never heard one bad word about Valerie Harper from anyone.
Yeah, she's a very, very sweet lady.
Yeah.
And so I had a dream when I had gone into the remote about the visiting the cemetery, and I had seen her in the remote, like, hey, come here, come here, come here. I saw you guys walking by. What are you doing? She actually was excited for us. And then
That's
I realized,
so cool. I love that.
And she was like, no, keep going. I think it's great. We were worried we were disrespecting. No, you're not disrespecting us.
Of course we were disrespecting. I'm glad she knew that.
So, I mean,
Beautiful.
I think that actors, they love this sort of thing. They love that we were doing that sort of thing.
I'm so
worried
happy
that
to
it was
hear that.
something negative, but I saw it as something that was totally, really, really
did
positive.
too.
Now, when you went into the energy, you actually did do a painting of Judy Garland, and you've been working with Judy Garland. Can you talk a little bit about that?
You asked me to bring some of my Judy artwork today. I gave you this print. This is based upon a large painting that I have, which I did not bring out, but this is a high definition print I made. I gave you one. Very proud.
Yeah, I have a copy. Mm-hmm.
I got a great response from this. I brought the original painting to Judy Garland's grave on the 100th anniversary of her birth. And there was a local news reporter from ABC7 who interviewed me on camera holding up my painting in front of Judy Garland's grave. And it was on the afternoon news, and my phone was ringing off the hook with friends. I saw you on TV. I saw you on the news.
How cool.
So Judy Garland gave me a little bit of exposure I wasn't planning on. But anyway, that's a piece that I've been proud of. I have other things I can show whenever you want, but I always pick up on her energy. This is one I did.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I did that around the time of her birthday recently.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Today, oddly enough, is the 84th anniversary of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Favorite movie in the world. I consider that the one perfect movie ever to come out of Hollywood.
You know, it's one of my top 10, definitely. Oh, my God, she's so beautiful there.
Dorothy Gale.
Yes, definitely.
Here's one I did of Judy when she was 13 years old.
Oh my
When she
God.
first signed her MGM
She
contract.
seems so familiar to me.
Well, you know what? The photograph moved me tremendously. I told you I'm very sensitive to eyes, energy from people. I can hear people talking. I don't know why, but I was sensing such melancholy from her. This little 13-year-old girl, they were putting the ridiculous, they were dressing her like a little girl, putting a bow in her hair and the frilly dress. And I could just see how unhappy and uncomfortable she was. And I could feel that in her eyes. And I don't know if people feel I captured that, but I wanted to capture that sort of melancholy about her, but at the same time, that 50,000 watt energy was so present, even as a little girl, along with that fragility. She was, to me, she was a quintessential Gemini, powerful and fragile all at the same time. And I felt that was there when she was 13. So that's why that picture spoke to me. And anyway, those are some of the pieces I've done. I'm going to do a new one, if I can announce that. We're going to do something interesting on my own channel where I'm going to video myself doing the stages from start to finish of this Judy Garland painting. And the goal is to have it finished in 3 weeks. We can show it here. We can show it on my channel also. But I'm going to do what I typically do, is just communicate with her, let her guide me. Here's one of Judy as a young woman. I don't. Is that
I love that one. That's my favorite, I think.
That is. Oh,
I just love that one.
Well, thank you so much. She's a favorite subject for me. I think it's because she's always spoken to me since a child. When she was alive. I mean,
when you said that. You said that when you connected with her, you have spoken with her energetically a couple times.
And more than a couple of times.
Does she have any feedback about what's going on in the world right now?
Okay, you were asking me specifically, what does she think about the SAG-AFTRA strike, the WGA strike? Does she have any messages? So what I did, I sat down last night. I just got very quiet. I grounded myself, asked for her, and I just started writing. And sometimes when these messages come through, they're very brief, they're very simple, not always grandiose. But when I asked her I said, Judy, what do you have to say to all these actors and writers right now? And I just got very distinctly, they should never give up in their fight. And then this is where I knew it was Judy. She goes, those son of a bitch studio heads will take anything they can grab their hands around. And this has to stop. And I think she fully meant the double meaning that if they don't grab anything they can get their hands on, she had to go through that herself. So that's what she had to say. And she said, it's enough, I tell you. And she said, well, of course I'm very much in their support. And then, this is funny, she said, why do you have to ask me this? And I said, well, Judy, it's for our show. And then she just kind of laughed it off and goes, oh, for the show. Well, the show must go on. And then she kind of laughed and winked, and that was the message. You can take it for whatever it is. But I loved when she said, those son of a bitch studio heads will take anything they can grab their hands around.
Well, nothing has changed, right? Oh my God. So nothing has changed.
Yeah.
And of course, but I think that's so funny. She's like, why are you asking me this question?
Well, I thought that was funny too. But
the show must go on. Yeah.
You've done your own channeling, and the personalities of these people are very much present. Sometimes they'll be a little belligerent. Sometimes their humor comes out. Sometimes a little anger. That's one of the things that's always fascinated me. But when I do my spirit writing, that's how I know it's authentic. First, I know it's not something that I would have made up. It just would not be organic to me. But it's also their emotions come through. Their personality comes through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you feel, because you had such a difficult life? This is something we talk a lot about, because there are a lot of people studying to be remote viewers and psychics that come to class that have joined our group. Do you feel like many psychics, they've just had a hard knocks. Maybe they had a difficult upbringing, and it's caused them to. They've had to be more sensitive, if nothing else,
Well,
than just simply a
I
woman.
think you make a valid point. I can't speak for others. I've never really pursued that, but it makes sense. I know for myself, I've shared that I was a very bullied child. I didn't have a lot of friends. I was alone a lot. So that just made me hypersensitive to what was going on around me. It made me far more observant. And I think also because I was by myself a lot, I I just naturally tuned in and listened more. And I think that's always stayed with me. Now, maybe I can't speak for others, but maybe those qualities have also been there for other people who do these type of readings. That's just myself, what I can say.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think that that's definitely what people are saying, and I thank you for showing your work.
Well,
So,
thank you for letting me show my work. I'm very grateful and appreciative.
well, I
And
think
I'm
what
seeing lovely comments here, by the
yeah,
way. I haven't been
I
answering people, but thank you. Kay, thank you for what you said about how, oh, let's see, it just disappeared here, but you were saying how you could see what was in Judy's eyes. And I'm so glad you picked up on that.
yeah.
That mattered a lot to me.
I also,
Eyes are my favorite thing to do in portraits.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wanted to also remind people, it's the 15th. On the 29th, I don't know, you'll probably be seeing this backwards because I have not figured out how
Yeah.
to do it so that it's the other way. I tried anyway.
Yeah.
Inviting the Queen, Sandra Rogers. She's going to be joining us on the 29th, Tuesday the 29th at 6 p.m. to discuss her book, Inviting the Queen, an emerging archetype for women at midlife. And I hope you enjoy it also, Chuck. I know you got a copy,
I
and
got my copy and
yes,
I'm
and you're going to be
just
interviewing.
starting it right now.
Yes,
I'm
you're going to be
looking
interviewing.
forward to it.
Yeah, you're going to be interviewing her.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and do the empath prayer, and
Okay.
then I'm sure because there is so much to the hot topics, a lot of people are going to be asking. I know about number 45. We were talking. I think we were talking earlier to Debbie. What is it? Mandatory sentence of minimum 5 years is what 45 is looking at in
Yeah.
Georgia state
At
prison.
minimum per indictment.
Well, I think I think that a lot of them are going to flip because when we looked at the cards yesterday, it showed the bouquet, and the bouquet is to be given an offer. And I'll tell you, he's getting charged with RICO, and this is crime. You pull this string, and you unravel all kinds of things with Trump. So God only knows how many criminals are going to be
Oh
in
my
this
God.
tree.
I'm sure it is staggering the actual number of people involved in this. And you make a good point. Pulling a string and having things start unraveling and falling apart. I think that's a great metaphor you came up with.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let's go ahead. Let's do the empath's prayer, and then we'll do some blitzes. Whatever people want to ask works for me. Does that work for you?
That certainly works for me.
Okay, let's do the empath's prayer.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen.
Amen.
Good prayer. A nice prayer.
I love that prayer.
All right. So Debbie is saying that she's reminding us that Trump said that he won't take a plea deal, but he's also said that he doesn't believe in taking the fifth, and he's done that too.
Oh, he's done that many times.
Okay. So here's the question: Can
Yeah.
we trust? Can we trust Trump to tell the truth about anything?
Do we have to even ask a pendulum or cards that question?
Well, isn't that what they say about people with personality disorders, though,
Yes, they do.
Chuck? That
Yes.
they lie just to lie? They lie because they can?
Well, I think he's been doing it's so innate within him. He's been doing it literally since he was a child. According to like Mary Trump, what she has said, a close family member. I don't think I almost wonder if he's capable of telling the truth
Well,
anymore,
that's the thing. I
even
mean,
able to discern it anymore.
well, he's benefited so much. I mean, this is a personality disorder. They benefit so much from lying. At a
Yeah,
very early age, they learn that if they can lie convincingly, they get a lot of benefits, right?
sure,
Whether
sure.
it's sex with pretty girls or
Yeah.
conning
Well,
people into the art of the deal.
something, that's the problem. He has been rewarded for his bad behavior far too long. This has been going on decades.
Yeah,
So finally, it's turning around. Finally, there's karma to be paid, justice to be brought up. Finally. Yes, someone said here, who was it? Faye said, when his mouth moves, he is lying. Yes.
right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a question from Cheryl Freeman. She wants
Okay.
to know about Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really good question because a lot of people want to know why wasn't Lindsey Graham called? Because he himself was picking up the phone and calling people out of Georgia.
Yeah.
Did he flip? Did some We know something must have gone down because there was a falling out between Lindsey Graham and Donald Trump. And so Trump must have suspected he flipped. So let's go ahead and see if Lindsey Graham flipped and also if energetically you could just tune in what kind of future you feel from him. But I'll
Is
go
that
ahead.
the question? Did Lindsey Graham flip?
Yeah,
That's
I
the
mean,
that's
why wasn't he charged out of Georgia?
I can only ask a yes or no for me, but did Lindsey Graham flip? Lindsey Graham flip. I'm getting kind of a maybe to a yes. A maybe to a
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I'm getting. I get the
Yeah.
same thing in the sense that he cooperated with state prosecutors' questions. That
Uh,
is what I get. You can see here. This is digging hermit, and then he's the king of swords. So this is a guy who's icy. Lindsey Graham is icy. He's cold, and he's got investigation right over him. What's also scary is they were very close to prosecuting Lindsey Graham. You
yeah.
can see the
What I
war
thought.
king and also the emperor. That's his opposition. So they didn't, and also more indictments could be coming. Everyone keeps talking about these 18 indictments as if she's done and that's
Oh
it.
no.
I don't think we should get so comfortable when they've
Oh,
said there are fake electors and other people down the road that could be facing
well,
problems.
it's incredible. What 91 indictments? They said that it was a 98 page. Uh, what's the word for it? The formal indictment. 98
Oh my
pages.
God.
Master. It's unbelievably detailed, and it's looking really bad because it's been pointed out. The federal charges. If, say, in theory, he did get elected president again, he could pardon himself, but he can't do anything about the state charges. Not a damn
No. And
thing.
yes, and similar to what's going on in New York. But, oh, I think I lost your vocals. I
You
can't.
lost my vocals? Can
Oh,
you
you're
hear me?
back now. Oh, yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, good.
Um,
We're on live, folks.
it was probably on my end.
Okay.
Look at this. King of Cups is the great negotiator. That was his concern. But Seven of Wands, he had to protect himself. But look at that, Two of Swords.
Yeah.
That tells me exactly what you said. He cooperated with questions, but there came a point, Two of
Yeah.
Swords. That is all I did, and that's all I'm admitting to, and anything else you can't charge me with. If he picks up a phone and says, "Is this the situation? I'm just asking, is there anything you can do?"
Yeah.
That isn't grounds to be charged. I just picked up a phone and asked if there was anything. Two of Swords means I'm not going to cooperate beyond that. Also, there's a healing Archangel Raphael healing cup over him with a King of Cups. He did cooperate. He answered questions. But from his perspective, you can't charge me with anything. So he's a typical lawyer. He's a typical lawyer with those types of energies.
Certainly sounds that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oops, I want to make sure I've got that right. So,
Looking to see what we have questions here.
my question to you is that good enough for somebody who is serving in the Senate?
In the Senate, no, I don't think that is good enough. You know, don't you feel people in the Senate should be held to higher standards?
Yeah, I mean, I find this whole thing disturbing. The fact that,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, so here's another question. This is coming from Susan Razavi. Hi, Susan. She wants to know if Trump is going to flee. Do you see him fleeing, or is he going to just see? I see them potentially putting hands on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
know you've been seeing that for quite a while. Didn't you say you see that even in the coming days?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the judge out of New York is really done with this
Well, you
guy.
know what? My hunch is they're second guessing Trump, thinking that he may do that. And I have a feeling precautions are already in place to prevent that. That's what my hunch tells me. But what is the question?
Will Trump attempt to flee?
Trump attempt to flee. I'm getting no, no,
I don't think he can flee. I don't
no. I
think,
don't think he can.
and I think the feds
That
have
was a
all.
strong no.
Yeah, I look at this. Look right over him, Chuck.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Court.
he's cornered.
New beginning in his life. He's facing a judge. This guy better cooperate. He's not in charge anymore. Two of cups. Humble yourself.
Yeah. Oh, Trump humble himself. I don't think we're going to ever see
I
that.
don't, with a two of cups as a final outcome, again, that would denote an offer. Take the offer we're giving you because dang, he's not fleeing. I don't think at this point with this many charges, is he free to go wherever he wants?
I don't see how he could be, especially with all these indictments. Didn't he have to surrender his passport?
I would think so.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was. They didn't do a mugshot, but they took the fingerprints, and I'm almost positive he had to surrender his passport.
I would think by now, yeah.
And you just know he's being watched very carefully. There's just no way he's going to be able to get
Yeah,
out.
absolutely. And Luna1111 said, "Hey, how come Lindsey Graham wasn't on the list?" And I think that it goes back to that whole idea, picking up a phone and asking someone, "Hey, is there something you can do?" is probably not enough grounds to sue him. He was questioned though, and the fact that the Two of Swords is there tells me that he was, you know, he defended himself.
Yeah.
He also refused to cooperate at one point. You're going to charge me or not? You're not going to get more information from this guy than he has to get with a two.
Yeah. Here's a. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I hope, but here's a question from Roseanne about Mark Meadows. He's asked for the Georgia case to be moved to federal court. Could that happen?
Well, Mark Meadows is interesting because you wonder if Mark Meadows made a deal. And if Mark Meadows made a deal and he can get this moved to federal court, then they can all be part of a federal deal.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
so that's where he's coming from.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if he's going to get away with that.
Um, well, I think it's just so obvious what he's trying to do.
Well, of course it is. Yeah.
Let me go ahead and pin that for you. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
So obviously he flips with the feds. Obviously, now if
Let
you
us
can just
move
move
this
that over to the
federal
feds, oh my God.
seat. I'm just getting no, 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 no. What are you getting?
Oh my God.
What?
The worst possible. It's only just begun. There's more
Yeah.
there's more charges coming out. This year, more charges. This is only the first wave of charges. We cannot
Oh
even
God.
assume that Lindsey Graham won't be charged in the future because according to this,
Yeah.
say for example they charge 18 people now and as part of their plea deal, they give evidence against another 20 people.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. The sun. You don't want the sun over you when you're a defendant. That's sanitation, man. The sanitary team has come like
Yeah. Take the
Eastman
garbage
out
out.
of Barbie, head of
Okay. I'm
sanitation,
getting
right?
several. Yeah, I'm getting several people here saying that they think Trump did not surrender his passport.
Yeah,
Uh,
he
what
didn't.
factor?
Well, he didn't out of New York. However, he may have with
Yeah,
the recent charges. We don't know. But
I
look at
thought I had
his
heard that.
opposition is an ace of swords. Dang, there's more charges for sure. First
Oh,
off, because they have sanitation, the truth coming out over Mark Meadows.
yeah.
Ace of swords and his opposition means they won, he lost. Hopes and fears to gain power. But look at the final outcome. He's before the judge, the emperor. They're all. Oh, I just got a hit. He's going to do 8 years in prison.
Oh, God,
I
God,
just got the answer.
God. This is unbelievable. And I'm thinking back. I think it was 2 weeks ago. You predicted in your cards just like a collapse of the Republican Party next year.
It looks like that. I mean, look at
Yeah.
that. Sun comes out. Look at that also. Constitution. In legal matters, the Constitution is the head, right? So the
Yeah.
Hierophant in legal matters is the Constitution. So the sun comes out. You have the Constitution over him. His opposition, look at that, pulled double aces.
Jeez.
Ace of Swords, which is victory in wartime, and Ace of Pentacles, which is the money. That tells me that the money stream, the corrupt foreign money, these
Yeah.
people are enemies of the country. These are they are
Yeah.
enemy combatants, and they have to be viewed as enemy combatants
I
because they
agree.
took money from hostile countries. They took money
Yeah.
from Russia. They took money from North Korea. They took money from China. They put the money in offshore accounts.
Yeah.
The feds have both the money and the prosecution. I'm telling you, the crypto, when I go into the energy on Bitcoin, the feds want to buy up all the Bitcoin. So what happens is the feds own all the Bitcoin, then they shut the Bitcoin down, and then Bitcoin's going to go belly up.
Do you see that setting off an economic depression, a
It,
crisis?
the Bitcoin, if the majority of the Bitcoin is owned by the police, Interpol, the feds, etc., then how much power does Bitcoin have if they decide to simply they can do whatever the heck they want?
Hmm.
There are so many accounts. This is crazy. This Ace of Pentacles. I mean, it is insane energetically. We're talking about people blowing up mega yachts. We don't need mega yachts
Yeah.
with no tags on them. We don't need the, we're talking about literally billions of dollars of unclaimed assets. It's
God.
insane. Look at this investigation here, too. Power, the world. This investigation spans, this is just the Mark Meadows stuff.
Yeah.
And it goes back to this international money, man. I'm telling you. And the judge, what's also crazy is that it's almost as if Mark Meadows is out to lunch. It's almost as if Mark Meadows doesn't know he's the last to get the memo.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a traitor and took money from a hostile foreign government.
Oh, imagine that. Yeah.
The guy's final outcome is the moon. He is the last to get the memo. So what happens is that people get seduced. They go down this, whether it's to be offered money or trips, or who doesn't want to go on a mega yacht and be wined and dined?
Yeah.
And the next thing
God.
you know, you're an agent, and that's what has happened here. His final outcome, he's looking at possibly with a deal. I don't think these people realize how serious people wound up dead. This guy's looking at 8 years with cooperation. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It is. It is. I. Sh- I.
It's just
I think we're all blown away by this. Sometimes there are just no words.
Yeah, it's interesting what Melissa Miller is saying. You guys are giving us some great comments, by the way, for
Yeah,
Topic
we're looking at these.
Tuesdays.
I'm glancing to the side here while I'm
Yeah,
looking.
I'm actually looking on the
Yeah.
at YouTube where I get more of the comments. But Melissa Miller was saying that Graham is actually threatening the Democrats that it's payback, tit for tat, indicating the ex-president.
Yeah.
Talk about being completely out of touch with reality. I mean, it doesn't have a tit for tat. We're talking about saving our democracy, you wingnut. I mean, I hate to
Yes,
be
we
rude.
are. We thought we were going to lose our democracy with the last election last November. I mean, it's the first time in my entire lifetime I've ever heard talk like that. The democracy could end with this current election. That's how fragile it is. We hear over and over from many wise people that democracy is something that has to constantly be nurtured and
Mhm.
protected. We can never take it for granted.
Sure, because I think that a lot of people just want to hand everything over to a king. It's so much easier.
Sadly, yes, and we've seen how that happens throughout history. History just keeps repeating itself over and over. That's why I always have considered history one of the most important subjects we can ever study. You've got the whole history of human nature right there, and you do follow history. It really does repeat over and over. It's like each generation has to keep relearning these same lessons.
Yeah, particularly when it comes to women's rights. EVV. All
Mhm.
right, Carol, let me sip. Let me see. Carol is asking a question, but I lost it. Oops.
Carol, let me see if I can find it here.
I don't know. It's gone forever. Carol, come back.
Here, we're trying to find you here. I'm scrolling myself.
Joyce
Here.
Pietras, Felon ask, will DJT show up on Friday? What's going on? Oh, I assume Friday. Is that the one in New York where he's been driving the judge crazy? This judge is really, he's on thin ice, this guy. I mean, do you think this guy, I think they're going to haul him off to Bedlam or something. How many times, every time, you know what the judge said to him? Every time he opens his mouth, we move the date up because you're contaminating the trial pool,
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
jury pool.
That's so true. Did you see that where August 23rd may be the day that Trump surrenders in Georgia? And they're saying it's strategic because that coincides with the night of the first Republican presidential debate. And Trump
Well,
could easily just milk this.
well, he can't be he can't be. Such a silly thing. He can't win the Republican because I did a remote on it, and he's not
Yeah.
even eligible in like 10 states. He's not going
Uh,
to be on the ballot. And I think some of those are southern states. So what's he going to do? Try and change the law in those states?
well, good luck there. Yeah, and that the South has traditionally been one of his core places of support.
Yeah. So you can't. They're not going to let. I don't know. I was looking. I think Tennessee. I think Georgia. They're not going to let him run.
He's fucked. You said I can say that word, so.
Oh yeah. All right. So Dr. Janine S. Ops wants to know about shutting down the government. You know, this is the kind of temper tantrums they used to have, right? Where
Yeah.
do what we want, and if you don't do what we want, then blah
We
blah blah
hold you
blah.
hostage.
Yeah, we're going to hold the economy hostage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think that we've grown at all since the days of Trump, or do you think that that it's not beneath this Congress to pull something like that?
Uh, I always like to think we're growing and evolving, but I haven't seen a whole lot of evidence of that. Certainly not with the current House of Representatives. I was just watching Adam Schiff this morning on The View saying, he flat out said it's just being run by a bunch of insane people right now.
Which thing was?
And he was talking about the House of Representatives
Oh yeah,
when he was censured, But
yeah, I think so too.
I guess what I'm just trying to say, I'm not seeing the kind of growth that there should be, at least in my opinion. Others may feel differently.
Hmm. Do you think that Sarah Roberts is asking, will Manchin run for president? What do you think? Yes or no?
Well, do you want me to ask you?
Let's go ahead and see.
Should run for president? It's sort of, it feels like a no to me, but what are you getting?
His wish has been granted regarding, he wants, he wants businesses and corporations and Republicans who are his friends to get along and begin working together. And his thing is all about bipartisan work. And his wish is that he has certain commitments to certain companies and his wish will be granted. That's what they're saying. His wish has been granted, scholarship regarding what? His partnerships,
Yeah.
you know. truth coming out regarding it's business. You know, the old coal mines, they need new business, grief and patience regarding his career, good karma in the next 6 months. He's creating new contracts for where's he from? West Virginia?
I'm not sure. Maybe one of our viewers would know.
He's from West Virginia. So basically, his focus is on contracts for his state, which is good. No, but that's not the criticism that people have about Manchin. The criticism is that the big criticism is he focuses too much on coal and industry that is dying out and was never good for West Virginia anyway. It wasn't
Right.
good for the health of the citizens.
Well, I know that
They didn't make
personally.
much money.
You know,
You know.
I grew up in Virginia, and I know West Virginia quite well. I know, how just devastating the coal mining industry can be to people. But it's some places it's the only way still to earn a living for these people.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going here.
Okay. Is Lindsey Graham one of the indicted co-conspirators?
He's not so far, but there can be. They are not done with charging everybody. There are also the electors that have to, more electors and people that have to be charged. At this point, based on what we've seen, what he did does not meet the standards of being charged.
Yeah.
He didn't obstruct. He didn't threaten. He merely asked a question.
Yeah. Looking here to see if we have any questions here. Oh, thank you, Karen, for your nice compliment there about me. Thank you. That's so sweet. Let's see.
So,
Here's a good one from
uh,
Ann. She's asking, they can't write his name in on a ballot legally, can they? Like Trump. I guess she means like in states where he can't get on the ballot. Can he be a write-in? That's
Sure, but I mean, who's gonna come on? What are the man's never won a majority. I mean,
yeah.
this is not. He can't even make it on the ballot, man. He can't. He won't. He can't be the nominee for the Republican because he can't be on the ballot for even the primary. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. I have found it just preposterous that he's come as far as he has. Leading the polls allegedly is the top contender for the Republican Party nomination. It's like, how can this be? You know,
Well, I think that it just goes to show the power of the media. I mean, if you go into the energy of Roger Stone always says, "I did that. I did. It was all me. I created the whole thing." And he has this he's almost proud of it. I did that. I did that. I made him
yeah.
behind the desk looking like a president. It was a fake desk in a studio. It wasn't really
Yeah.
his desk. It was all,
Oh, I know.
fake lamps, all
You know
fake
what?
stuff.
It was
And people thought it was real.
Do you know what? It was a soundstage in Queens. That's what it was. And they recreated his office. They shot many, many takes. And as you know, a good editor they can find those few usable seconds out of all of those takes to make a person look competent. So they created this illusion that Trump was this all-knowing, perfect boss with all this wisdom. And it was just utter.
Well, he actually has done, before he went insane, he has done some good things. Like paying for people to go into drug rehab. I mean, he's done that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think the bad far outweighs the good.
yeah, unfortunately.
Here in LA, before Trump was ever even president, I used to hear horrible, horrible stories from people at studios who had to work with Trump. A lot of people don't know that in the early 90s, Trump had this dream of being a movie mogul, of forming his own studio and being a mogul. And basically, here in Hollywood, they laughed him out of town. They saw what an idiot he was, even back then. And supposedly there are theories that Trump has always had a vendetta against quote unquote Hollywood ever since, because he was rejected.
So Joyce Pietris wants to know if Trump will show up on Friday the 25th for the arraignment in Georgia. I said yes. Did you have an opinion on that?
Well, my own opinion was what I said earlier. Where I was concurring with what they said on the news that August 23rd sounds more likely because he would like to tie it in with the debate. Because you know how Trump likes to milk this for everything he can, and it'd be kind of ironic that that would be the night he would shoot his mouth off and say too much, and then get hauled off to jail the next day. That would be really ironic, wouldn't it?
These cards say that he shows up. He defends himself 7 of
On what
wands.
day? On the
It's probably going to be on the 25th.
on the 25th.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is what they had said originally, right?
Yeah. Okay. As long as he turns himself in.
All right, Dr. Janine S. Ops. We wouldn't wanted to ask about the shutdown of the government. We never got around to it, so maybe we should just check and see if the government is going to get shut down. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, be sure and like and subscribe for Taco Tuesdays. Also, think about being a member of this wacky channel. We get together for private readings in our private salon on Saturdays. And we also teach remote viewing if you'd like to learn the skills of remote viewing to people at the Elders Empaths level. If you want to get a reading from me, a private reading once a month, check out our benefactors plan at $99 a month. It helps us do great things like hire amazing actors like Charles Dransfield and amazing directors like Debbie. So thank you everyone who's become a member.
Very appreciative. Thank you so
Gotta
much.
promote. I got to promote Taco Tuesdays, darling.
Yeah, we do. We got to promote it. Yeah,
Oh,
but also to thank all these good people.
yes, for paying for the tacos.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, what are you getting on this? I'm getting that that there is a sizable amount of the MAGA people that have declared war and really want to shut this puppy down. That's what I'm getting. What are you getting?
Well, I was asking a question: would the government shut down? But I was getting a no. But now that I'm hearing the way you were phrasing it now, um,
Well, I get no too, but I mean,
I'm getting, yeah.
no, I
And
agree with you.
okay, then I was getting a correct answer. But I mean, I could certainly see enough of these people revolting, at least trying to, gum up the works a little, create as much trouble and, shall we say, civil disobedience. That wouldn't surprise me.
5 of Swords, we take the power away from them.
Good.
The opposition, the devil. That leads me to think the opposition is the devil. Isn't that sad when the Republican Party is seen as the devil? That would make you think maybe you need to re-examine the ethics of your party. But we
I don't
take
think too many of us are shocked by that card, unfortunately.
hidden agenda, devil. So they are going to try and mess us over, but judgment prevails. So
Okay,
they're never.
that's
MAGA is dying out. They're never going to be able to have that kind of power. And
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope we can't. That just cannot endure.
it makes you wonder just how crazy are people that they would even vote that way.
Well, that's what I've always said. That's what scares me the most, the fact that there are millions of people who think like this. The people who cannot even judge character any better than that. That bothers me. And it's bothered me for a long time, really since the 2016 election.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
When I
agree.
saw Trump in office and I saw the number of supporters, I would watch Trump literally melt down at press conferences. He would go ape shit ballistic. And I thought, how can people watch this and not see a madman? How? How can you judge character that poorly?
Well, Joel Tilson is pointing out that Chris Christie has really been going to town on Trump, publicly humiliating. Also, Chris Christie is running for one of the GOP running for president.
Oh, good luck there.
Feel like with this many high-profile Republicans coming out against Trump, that it's going to have any impact at all on
Oh,
his numbers.
I think so. Well, you know what? That's an interesting point when you added his numbers. I think it certainly is sounding to death now, But his supporters seem to stick it out with Trump no matter what he does. It's like the worse he behaves, the more they seem to love him. So I don't even know if even that would make his supporters go away. The MAGA, the hardcore MAGA Republicans, they are just. It's like they're going to go as the ship is sinking. They're just going to go down with him. It's almost like they're going to stick with him to the bitter end. That's the vibe I get, anyway.
I have a great closing question since we're just now coming to the end of this.
Are we coming to the end? Wow.
Well, didn't you? Isn't I love Taco Tuesdays, man.
I've been having fun. I can't believe this hour's almost
Well,
over.
we didn't crack as many jokes as we usually do, but it was okay. Debbie's like, "Hey, remember you're a comedy, kids. It's hard. Sometimes we just want to weep into the microphone, with the whole crazy thing that's going on." But Joel Tilson has a great question to take us out. He wants to know if Trump will be forced into a mental eval. Boy, if I had control and if I would order a mental eval.
I'm almost sensing the answer to that, but I'm getting yes.
You are?
Yes. I'm getting yes. You're not.
It makes sense to me.
It makes perfect sense.
Doesn't it make sense to all of you? If you were the judge, that you would order a mental evaluation on this person, because you've got to admit he's correct.
Anybody but Trump, they'd be forced into a mental
evaluation. I don't believe in making fun of him if he's mentally insane. I believe the guy needs help. There's a lot of wisdom over this. You've got that high priestess for the judge, but look at Trump, at her opposition. That's Trump, Knight of Swords. This man is dangerous. His capacity to violence or to get other people to be violent should not be underestimated. But I'm telling you, the Mars King is after him. This guy.
Well, remember Mary Trump's book? The subheading was "The Most Dangerous Man in the World." I'm paraphrasing that, but that's basically what she said on the cover of her book. The most dangerous man in the world, Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, she basically said, my family produced the most, how did my family manage to do this? And of course, it was all Fred Sr. was a psychopath. That was basically.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, this was a lot of fun.
I've had the best time, Whimsy.
I had fun too. Always have fun hanging out with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish up the documentary so people can see all the cool stuff we did.
See all of our hard work we did in Los Angeles last week.
I think it'll be ready by next week. I'm hoping.
We worked pretty hard.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to see it myself.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, it would be great if you could like or subscribe to support the channel, and think about being a member. Every membership counts, and it's very much appreciated. I want to give a shout out of gratitude to everybody who has decided to help us today. Thank you so much to our amazing Debbie Brady, who keeps us sane. Thank you also to Joel Tilson for his help, Melissa Miller, Geocosmic Valentine, if she is somewhere around, and all of you, everyone who decided to hang out for Taco Tuesdays with us. Please take care of yourselves. Be kind to all so that all can be kind to you too. And we will see you next time. Be well.
Okay. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.